Hey everybody, and welcome to Comics from the Future. I'm Andy.
I'm Matt.
We're here with Infinity Flux Comics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and this is our I almost said premiere show. This is the show that you've all been waiting for.
That's
This is
right.
our big show of the week where we go over all the comics that you can pre-order. Where your pre-orders are due this Sunday by 9 o'clock if you shop with us. We're going to go over some of the biggest books coming out that you don't want to miss. We want to let you know plenty of time ahead, so when you get to your comic book store, you're not shocked by they've already sold out of some of these really big
Right.
books. You were prepared. You had your orders in, and you walk in with your head held high and the confidence that you've got what you wanted.
That's right. And I do want to assure you guys, I am Matt, not Jason, as it says.
Oh,
Let me
whoopsie.
turn that right there. The background with. Oh. That's it. Hey!
Oh,
I told
wow,
you.
you just changed purpose.
I just switched identities.
Well,
I should take, I'm Jason with my glasses on. I take them off and I'm Matt.
Wow, that's bigger transformation than Superman. Okay, so let's get into this week's. This is a big week,
Yep.
and like we said on our previous show, this week actually has 2 weeks worth of DC comics in it, so it may feel pretty DC heavy, but it's because of the holiday coming up. We have to get 2 weeks worth of orders in
Yep.
on the same day. So these will be spread out over the course of 2 weeks when they do release. So let's start this show out with our featured comics.
Starting with Wonder Woman #1. So this is the brand new Wonder Woman series written by Tom King with art by Daniel Sampere. A new era begins, as you can see there on the cover, and this sounds really cool. So in this, Wonder Woman is now a wanted outlaw, which sounds pretty crazy. And the reason for that is that there was another Amazonian who was accused of murder, mass murder, excuse me. So Congress passed the Amazon Safety Act, barring all Amazons from U.S. soil. For the ones that ignore that law, the government also starts up a task force called the Amazon Extradition Entity, or AXE, which it was funny because we got the AXE storyline in Marvel a while back. But that organization, their goal is to remove those Amazons who don't comply with this law that they're not allowed to be here anymore. So interesting things coming for Wonder Woman. I mean, she's one of the greatest heroes in the DC universe. She saved the world, the universe, the multiverse countless times. But now the government wants her out. So, what's that going to look like? We're not real sure. We have looked at some of the preview pages of this, and it looks really good. There are some Amazons that do not comply with that order. So, they have to get dealt with according to the government. Now, there is something too. This might be the first appearance of a new blonde Amazon. We're not really sure. A lot of people on Twitter, they saw this page and thought it was Cassie. And Tom King said that is not Cassie. If you want to see who it is, you'll have to read the book. So, I'm not 100% saying get this for the first appearance of a new character, but it might be because there is a character on a couple of these pages. We don't know who she is. I've never seen her before. If it's not Cassie, then I've never seen her before. So we don't know. So just maybe a little something extra to think about. But it sounds like a cool story. The art in this is really fantastic. So I'm really excited for this. I'm definitely going to be checking it out. We have our A cover here. This is by Daniel Sampere. So this is your interior artist. The B cover here is the one I'm going to pre-order. This is the ARTGERM cover. We also have the TEDESCO cover on a kangaroo. That's really cool.
What's the kangaroo's name?
Oh, I don't remember.
Jumpa.
Is it?
I think it's
Yeah,
Jumpa.
that's fantastic. There is a Rose Besh, which there's a bunch of these, right? I think we'll see a few more.
They're like the creator variant. So I wonder if this is a new series they're going to be doing where they're going to have different artists do kind of their completely own style of doing these.
And then there is a Chris Bachalo foil variant as well, and I'm really interested to see which bits of this are foil.
Yeah.
Because it's almost cooler when it's not all foil, when only certain bits are like that. That's even cooler.
Yeah, that Moon Knight and that Thor.
Yeah, that Thor was great. Yeah.
Next up, we have a new Flash #1. We're getting so many new #1s from DC in our kind of It feels like our round 2 of
Yeah,
Dawn of DC
yeah, and
titles.
I'm here for it. It's been great
Yes.
so far.
So this is Flash from a new creative team of Cy Spurrier and Mike Deodato Jr. It's another one we looked at some pages
Hmm.
of, and this is a very different take on a Flash book. Still Flash, he's still running fast, all of that, but just the, kind of how it's formatted and everything is very new and different, very different than the current run that just ended. So in this, I just think about Wally is more comfortable with his powers than ever. His life is actually going pretty well. He has a new baby. His kids and their powers. He just has a crazy life, but it's a good life. But as this goes on, there's some weird stuff that starts popping up. The further he investigates his powers and the Speed Force, some more sci-fi horror elements start creeping into this. So this is going to be a little bit more on the weird science fiction angle of the Speed Force. Even maybe what is between the Speed Force is something that's kind of mentioned, which uh, there's always a where there's a multiverse, there's a thing in between and a thing
Yeah,
outside of it and all that.
the buffer layer.
Yes, but you will see some familiar faces, villain wise, that you know and love. But there's also going to be some new characters. Even in this issue number 1, there is a new character that appears, and we see some of the family as well, like Max Mercury, Impulse. So the gang's all there, but it feels very different than the previous one, and you might want to check this out to see if this is your flavor of Flash. So this is our A cover by Deodato Jr. We have our variant cover. This is also by Deodato Jr., which at first I was like, oh, this looks like Mirror
Mirror
Master.
Master.
But is it? There seems to be some weirdness going on.
Yeah, maybe.
Some little lightning
Yeah,
bolts
what?
and
Yeah, I
stuff
don't
going
know.
on. We also have this great Dan Mora variant. We have another one of these Roche Best Creator covers. And we have a blank sketch variant. And this is our RAHZZAH foil variant. So another one will be interesting to see how this looks all foiled up.
That should be the Super Mario Galaxy variant because he's running around a
Yeah.
little planet. Yeah. All right, so next is Invincible Iron Man number 10. This is the big wedding issue. So it's been talked about for a couple months now, the wedding of Tony Stark and Emma Frost. And when that was announced, everybody was like, what? Wait, why are they getting
There's a
there?
resounding
Yeah,
huh?
huh? They're not in it together. But the seeds for this started to get planted in this week's issue of Iron Man number 9. We see why they might be wanting to do this. They've both been beaten down. They both want revenge for those who have wronged them. So they didn't like sit down and form their plan in this week's issue, like saying, "Oh, let's get married, then we can do this, this, and this." But they did say we should form an alliance, essentially, to get back at the people we want to get revenge on. We're going to see more of this in X-Men number 26, which comes out in a couple weeks. And then this issue here is where the wedding actually happens. The story details on this are a little bit light. The solicitation does say that the attire is Hellfire formal, which sounds very, suave and elegant. But then there is an Orcus raid to follow, and they are very upset with Orcus right now. So after the wedding, I guess they're gonna go like try to tear down the walls of Orcus. And it says that there are some exclusive wedding extras as well. Don't know what those are, but I'm excited to see what it is. So
Open up and rice falls out. Or
right,
something like
yeah.
that.
There's like or you open it up and a dove flies.
Lovely.
But yeah, so this is the wedding in this issue. I have been loving this run of Iron Man. I cannot wait to see, what the deal with this, because especially after reading number 9, there was like, oh, what's that person doing here, and oh, what are they going to do, and why does she look that way, and all this stuff. So all kinds of stuff to come in this issue. I'm really excited for it. So we have our A cover here. We also have our Bob Layton wraparound, which I think there's been one of these for every issue so far.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. There's also the CAFU Avengers 60th anniversary variant, which looks fantastic. The Chris Allen Stormbreakers variant. Oh, there's a Riri on the cover. There's the George Perez variant, and there is the Meghan HETRICK homage variant. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, that's the
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Yeah, the
Yeah.
Spider-Man annual with the spider heart behind him. Yeah,
Yeah. Very cute.
very cool.
I love Wolverine down there in the corner too.
Yeah.
He's wearing his yellow and brown formal attire.
Right.
Next up, we have a indie book. There wasn't a ton of new number one indie books, so we've got one featured here though. This is Junior Baker, the Righteous Faker, and if that name sounds vaguely familiar, there was a series back in 2011 called uh, Butcher Baker, the Righteous Maker.
Yeah.
And it was a story about a kind of ex superhero who became like a truck driver, but it's very over the top, very stylized. Well, years later, we're getting a kind of a sequel to that. This is by Joe Casey, and the art is by Ryan Quackenbush, which is a fantastic
I love
name.
it.
And in this one, it is following a character named Dizzy Baker, who's a journalist chasing superhero stories in a world that's kind of moved past superheroes. But he is about to stumble upon the greatest story they've ever found, and it's going to pull his past and his future into a very violent collision. So if this cover looks interesting to you, that's going to be the interior art. If you're looking for a very kind of out there, still superhero story, but very, very different, this will be a really interesting one. And if you can find that original series, it's got really cool art. It's very unique. So that is the new Junior Baker, the Righteous Faker from Image Comics.
So next up is the new John Stewart Green Lantern book. This is Green Lantern War Journal #1, written by Philip Kennedy Johnson with art by Montos. So this is going to feature the first appearance of a new villain. We don't have a name for that new villain yet, or who they are, what they do, that kind of thing. But there is going to John Stewart is going to face down a new villain in this. So the crux of the story is that John Stewart, he is no longer a Green Lantern. He is trying to go back to what his life was before he was a Green Lantern. But that doesn't last long because a terrifying force appears on Earth that's connected to Oa. And the last Green Lantern of another universe comes seeking John's help because John is the only one who has faced this threat before and defeated it. So this is if you've been reading the current Green Lantern run from Josh Allen, who's been featuring Hal Jordan. There's been a so Josh Allen, right?
It is the former writer of Flash.
Yeah,
I don't think that's his name.
I think I messed that up. But there has been a backup story in those featuring this story, and we have seen in those backup pages we have seen like this other Green Lantern that we've never seen before. Like, who is that guy? And I thought he was Guy Gardner at first, but it's like, who is this guy? So that Green Lantern is going to come seeking John's help, and hopefully he'll be able to defeat the bad guy, I guess. But
I
but
was looking up this, trying to look up the name real
yeah,
quick.
it's driving me nuts. It's
His last name's Adams. I know.
Jeremy Adams, not
Jeremy
Josh
Adams.
Allen. Josh Allen is a football player. Jeremy Adams, golly, that was driving me nuts too. Jeremy Adams, jeez, Space Kicker on Twitter. So anyway, here's our A cover by Taj Tenfold. We have our John Zhang cover. I really like that one
It's
quite a bit.
crazy.
Yeah. Dave Wilkins cover is our C cover. We have a Pablo Villalobos Hispanic Heritage Month cover. I really
I
like
love
that.
this.
I would love for Jessica Cruz to feature in this as
Yeah.
well. We haven't seen her in a while. And then our John Stewart, our dog tag cover as well. I
And
really
this is
like.
glow in the dark.
Ooh.
So yeah, everybody, you got the '90s wave of special covers are back with glow in the dark,
Yep.
foil,
Mhm.
all of that. And,
Yeah.
but I feel like they're doing them a little bit more tasteful this
Yeah.
time. Okay, next up is Batman Catwoman, the Gotham War Red Hood #1. This is going to be a 2-issue miniseries, and it's one of the very few like tie-in books to the Gotham War storyline that's going to be going on. And this one, of course, is focusing on Red Hood, and nothing has the Gotham War hasn't affected anyone as much as it's affected Red Hood. I feel like he already kind of has like stability issues, all of that. He's never 100% felt like he's fit in, and now even the found family he has is fracturing, and this will change Red Hood, Jason Todd, forever. We don't know how, but it looks like he's going to play a big role in this. And we'll be talking about more Gotham War stuff coming up with Catwoman and such, and we'll explain a little bit more of what's going on. But
If the first issue that kicks everything off comes out next Tuesday,
Yeah.
and we'll be talking about it next Monday.
yes. Yeah. So, and it sounds like most of the people are siding with Catwoman,
Yeah.
which is interesting. So, this is your A cover for that. This is also by Matthew Rosenberg and Nikolov Sismaja, I believe is the last name. And this is our Carl Kerschel variant. He looks like he's very torn between a, it's like a devil
Yeah,
or
the
demon
angel
on
and
his
the devil.
shoulder,
Yeah,
but
and to let you know, so the Gotham War, it's not a very long crossover. It's 8 books, 2 issues of Batman, 2 issues of Catwoman. There is this, which is a 2 issue miniseries, and then I think there's 2 other one shots.
yeah,
And that's pretty much it. So it's not a, this is like you said,
not Night Terrors.
right. It's definitely nothing like Night Terrors, and it's confined to the Batman corner of the universe, so it's not going to bleed over into Superman or anything. But like you said, very few tie-ins. All right, so next up is Rumpus Room #1. This is from AWA. This is written by Mark Russell with art by Ramon Rosanas. So this one sounds creepy. There's a billionaire. His name is Bob Shrunk. He is a collector of bad art. He also is a victim of a hideous skin condition that can only be treated with a highly illicit, unstable face cream. It doesn't sound so bad, right? He just puts a little cream on. Oh, but that face cream has to be harvested from humans. And I guess he keeps them all in a cage in his house. Like you can see some at the bottom of the cover there. He's got a whole host of people that he's got locked up. But the solicitation does say he's not all bad, though, because he lets his guests choose who is going to be next to go into the rumpus room, which I guess is where this harvesting takes place. Kind of sounds like Soil and Green a little bit.
Yeah.
So it almost sounds like maybe like the Big Brother, the TV show, where they vote. They get to
Oh,
vote
yeah.
who goes wherever. So that sounds pretty interesting. But one of the guests in that he's got locked up has a special surprise for him. There maybe they aren't who he thinks they are, and that might throw a wrench in his plans to get some more of this face cream that he needs to take care of his skin condition. So sounds really creepy. It sounds like it's going to be in time for spooky season. So
Yep.
this is the kind of stuff I like to read around October. So very excited for this one.
What's the weirdness of these like people in animal costumes? And you'll see that on one of
Oh
the variants
yeah,
as well. That you know, are they
I
the
didn't
ones in the
notice.
rumpus rooms that are gonna mess you
Oh
up?
yeah, I didn't notice that. Well, let's take a look. So that's our A cover. We have our Michael Allred cover. Wow, okay, that's really scary. And then our Mark Russell.
Which is just a frog with a butt.
Yeah,
It's just a fantastic
I
cover.
want that to be a line of variants. Just frogs with butts variants.
Yep. So it says age 52,
Right.
which is great. Okay, next up we have DC's Ghouls Just Want to Have Fun one shot. Once again, in time for the spooky season, we've got DC's Halloween special. So this is going to be an anthology, like a lot of these are, with a lot of fun stories. We previewed this a little bit before the show, and this has some really fun stories.
Yeah.
So it's got a Superman imprisoned by a ghost, Man Bat versus a werewolf, which has really cool art that's very reminiscent of like Batman the Animated Series. It says one is Mary Marvel and Dr. Psycho crashing a Halloween frat party, which I did not see in that preview.
Yeah.
The Question faces crimes of fashion, and that is Renee Montoya Question, so great to see her in here. Robot Man wrestles a ghostly glitch. Crush helps Lobo find the perfect costume. You'll see a little hint of that on one of the variant covers. Nightwing and Red Hood spend a frightful night in Bloodhaven, which is co-written by Christopher Sean, who does the voice for Nightwing in the Arkham Knights games. And then there's also one that's not mentioned here, but I thought was really fun, is an Animal Man story.
Yeah.
So, we don't get to see Animal Man too often, so that one's really great too. So if you like these kind of fun anthology, each story is just a couple pages long, you'll really like this. This is our A cover for that. And check out the the Lobo, who has a very tiny little mask on.
Yeah.
As he's wrestling candy away from a boy dressed as Batman. Just a lot of fun
He
stuff
is not
here.
giving up that candy.
This is the Jay Lee cover. Then we have this one, which is really cool. This is the Hayden Sherman glow in the dark cover.
Oh,
so
okay.
perfect for a Halloween cover to get a glow in the dark.
All right, so Superman #6. We mentioned last week that Night Terrors is ending. The very last final issue comes out next Tuesday, and with that comes, all the quote unquote regularly scheduled DC books, they're all coming back now. So we mentioned last week that if you kind of like took a break from Night Terrors, it is now time to wake up and start pre-ordering your DC books again. If you're taking a rest, it's time to
if you're sleeping,
get back on the wagon and start resuming the pre-order DC books. So yeah, Superman #6 here. This is the start of a new story arc. This is going to be the first appearance of a new villain called the Chained. We learn, or in this book, Superman learns that Lex has been keeping a prisoner beneath Stryker's island for decades. I'm assuming maybe that's the Chained. Maybe he's chained up underneath. But who is it and why? That's what Superman has to find out. So yeah, the just a brand new story arc in what has been a fantastic run of Superman so far. I'm very very excited for this one because it's been great. It's been great. So we have our A cover here. We have a Lee Bermejo variant, which looks really good. We have a De Silva variant featuring Mercy Graves, and then Rose Besch. There's another one of the creator covers. I really like that one.
Okay, next up we have another new #1. This is Power Girl #1. This is by Lee Williams and Eduardo. It's Pansiska, I believe, or Pansiska. And I'm excited about this. So Power Girl has had some backup stories in Action Comics as of late, but she's branching off into her own ongoing series. So after Night Terrors, there is a Kryptonian threat that arises that Superman thinks only Power Girl can deal with because it might be something from her past. But I previewed this issue and it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of good fight scenes.
The art looks good too.
The art looks really good. Power Girl at a party, throwing down with some villains, and a scene with Superman and Streaky, the super cat,
which is great.
Will warm everyone's hearts. But I think this is going to be a lot of fun. Plus, we got some great covers for this. So Gary Frank, I believe, is doing the A covers for a while, which is really cool. We also have this John Boy Myers cover. We have this is the Suzumaka variant. And we have a Warren Lau foil variant, which I was like, why does this look weird? It's like she doesn't have any red.
Yeah.
So it's weird to see her without the jacket or the cape.
Right.
So, but I imagine it's going to be a very nice foil variant. Okay, next up we have other #1s. But before we get into that too much, let's talk about InfinityFlux.net. So you can head over to InfinityFlux.net right now to pre-order these books that we're talking about. It's super easy. You set up an account, takes 2 seconds, and you can start ordering today. Set up your pull box where you can subscribe to series, subscribe to the variants, or order any of the books that you see on there. Plus, we wanted to mention that we have a special code you can use.
What?
So you can use code ILOVEFLUX at checkout and you get 10% off your first order. So if you are a new customer to us, you can get 10% off your order. Plus all the books that you pre-order, you get 10% off of. That's a double 10% off right there. So how could you refuse such a great offer?
That's right.
So thank you so much if you are using us as your local comic book store. We really appreciate it. So, moving on to our other #1s. There's a few of these, starting with
the Avengers annual for this year. This is the finale of the Contest of Chaos storyline. And this kind of sounds pretty interesting. So Agatha pits the Avengers against the winners of all the other battles that we've seen in the other annuals from this storyline. So the Avengers versus I won't say who's won so far, but I can think about who it is so far. So that should be a pretty good battle. So the Avengers are going to have to choose: do they want to save their friends, or do they want to prevent the creation of a new Darkhold, which is what Agatha has been trying to do this whole time? But their choice may have a consequence that no one, including Agatha, can see coming. So if you've been reading this across the annuals, then definitely don't miss this because this is the very last one. So we have our A cover here, and then we have a Brian Hitch variant as well.
With what? That wasn't the original.
This was the promo image.
Okay, next up we have a new Star Trek book, and where you usually think this is like one shots, this is actually a 4-issue miniseries.
Okay.
Star Trek Ho-
Halloween, like the
Halloween, like a
holodeck.
holodeck.
Yeah,
I was trying to pronounce it, but it just sounds like I'm saying Halloween weird.
yeah.
Halloween. So this is going to be by Chris Sequeira, and the art is by Joe Eisma, who I knew from Morning Glories. And so in this, to liven up the spirits of no pun intended, the spirits of the Enterprise, Picard decides, hey, we should all celebrate Halloween on the Enterprise. But it's not all treats when the crew members start going missing one by one.
Ooh.
So it sounds really interesting, and oh, it's like a Jack the Ripper
Yeah.
or
But he's a
Dr.
boy.
Jekyll, Mr. Hyde
Yeah.
coming through or something. So it's really interesting, and you've got this great Frank Avia
Yeah.
A
Frank
cover.
Villa doing like spooky Halloween type stuff. There's nothing better than that.
Yeah, so very cool. This is our A cover. And then we have the Vilches variant as well, where it looks like maybe a Medusa. Maybe the whole ship gets taken over by different monsters.
Oh,
I
that'd be
mean,
cool.
be really cool.
All right, so next one is a new book from Vault called Sainted Love, and I cannot say that without hearing the Tainted Love in head.
Yeah.
But this one sounds cool. So this takes place, or at least it starts in New York City in 1907. It's about two guys. The first guy's named Malcolm Irena. He is the greatest inventor that the world has never heard of. And then his boyfriend's name is John Wolfe, who is the toughest bare knuckle boxer in the city. I love that pairing.
Greatest,
Yeah.
like, if that was on your business card, the
Right.
greatest bare knuckle fighter in the city.
Like you've got this like brilliant inventor and then like a rough and tumble like
Yeah.
boxer guy. Well, Malcolm, he's a great inventor, like I said. He has built a machine called the Chrono Corridor, which is essentially a time machine that he built it so that that he and John can travel to a time where they can love each other freely, because again, this was back in 1907, so we weren't as open with things as we are today. But a crazed detective named Detective Felt raids Malcolm's lab, but I don't know why. Like it didn't say like, oh, he thinks he's like, it just says Detective Felt raids Malcolm's lab. So they jump into the machine to avoid capture and presumably go on an adventure across time. So, we're not really sure if it's going to be just one place they go to or if they're going to sort of quantum leap into different times or whatever. I don't know, but it sounds like a really cool story,
Like
especially if
maybe
you're
one
into.
leap will take them home.
Oh yeah, but they'll never get there because the series will get. I don't. Like, did
Leap.
Quantum Leap ever have a finale?
I thought I had like a movie or something.
I don't remember if it wrapped up or not, but yeah, hopefully this has an ending, whereas Quantum Leap maybe didn't. I don't quite remember, but yeah, so it sounds really fun. So there is our A cover. We also have a Vic Regis variant, and then we have a Chris Sheehan, not safe for work, polybagged. That is the poly, but yeah, that's the polybagged one.
There's two different ones, but they look looks
Okay.
the same. So
Yeah.
okay, this is really interesting.
Yeah.
So I had to do some, out of all the things, I had to do the deepest dive on this. This is Jack Kirby's Star Warriors: The Adventures of Adam Star and the Solar Legion one shot. Most of the covers taken up with the title, but this was a comic that Jack Kirby made about 80 something years ago.
Yeah. Pre-Marvel.
Pre-Marvel. He was like in
yeah.
his 20s when he
Mhm.
created this. And we have Tom Scioli, who has done a lot with Marvel. He did one of the Grand Design
Yeah.
books, all of that. He has actually taken this original Jack Kirby work and it said remixed it. And so I found some comparisons, and it's basically like he cleaned it up, recolored it, so it's not quite the like flat over the
colors.
top
Yeah.
colors of the time. Uh, he rearranged the panels to make it flow a little bit better. So it's kind of like a I don't know. It's like a restoration, cleaning it up, making it a little bit more straightforward type thing. But it's really cool looking. The colors in it are very much like this cover here. And yeah, 83 years ago. So I think this sounds really cool, especially if you're a classic Jack Kirby fan and you want to see some really rare work by him and some really early work by Jack Kirby. Definitely check this one out. And it's just the one cover. So next up, we've got notable twos and threes. These are issues that the number ones have either come out or about to come out. We want to make sure you don't miss out on pre-ordering these. Sometimes you get excited about the number one, you like it, but you forget to order the next issues. So don't forget about these because they are very cool.
Starting with this one, which is very cool. So Marvel Unleashed #2, the first one came out this week, and it was a lot of fun. Like it was really fun reading the adventures of Red Wing and Chewie and D Dog and uh, whoever else was there.
Lockjaw, who
Log, well,
was
he was, yeah, he was taken, yeah. So in this one, Craven defeats Red Wing and Chewie because at last issue they found where Craven had taken Lockjaw. Craven captured him. They figured out sort of what Craven's plan was. So Craven takes down Red Wing and Chewie. So Bats and D Dog, they have to go find Throg, which you see on the cover there, to get his help because what better to fight a demon, the demon Blackheart, than a thunder god. But even a god of thunder might not be strong enough to defeat Blackheart. So the first issue was really fun. This should be as well. So Throg wasn't in the first one, but we know he's coming. So I'm excited to see him
I
in
love
this. Yeah,
Throg.
he's great. So we have our A cover here. We have our Ron Lim. Lucky was the other one. I was trying to think there was another dog. Lucky, and then we have a Ron Lim Throg variant as well. And it's cool because the issue number one had two different Ron Lim. It was Lockjaw and Red Wing. Yeah. So it'd be cool. Like you can really get, it's two covers each, but you could really get a cool set of covers
Yeah.
featuring all the Pit Avengers.
Okay, next up is Jean Grey #2. I really like Jean Grey #1 that
Yeah.
came out this week. So as Jean Grey is dying, basically, she goes back through her mind, I guess using her psychic abilities, and replays some key moments in her life and the X-Men to figure out where did things go wrong that led them to this kind of disaster Hellfire Gala that they're at. And the first one was fun with the all new X-Men and all that. But this one sounds really cool where we are revisiting the Dark Phoenix.
Oh.
And it doesn't say it, but the flames are not around her. They're around Scott,
Yeah.
also coming out of his visor because
Mhm.
it says, "What if it chose someone else? What if the Phoenix Force went to someone else?"
This is a what if book, and it's awesome.
But in it, it says, "This isn't a what if."
Oh, okay. Well, never mind then.
Because it's kind of, I don't know. It's a what if, but like of her working through this.
Yeah.
So it's like not a separate universe or anything. But it says, this is follows the greatest love story of all time of Scott and Jean. And but this is also, it says, not a what if, and Jean is not where she's meant to be, which I don't know if that means that when she's dead or whatever, and secrets will be revealed that are going to have a big impact on her return to the Fall of X story. So definitely not dead,
Yeah.
but kind of what things is she going to find out on this journey she's taking. So I think this one sounds really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially revisiting, the Dark Phoenix
Yeah.
saga, which is so huge, and really nice covers for this. This is our A cover. And then we have this Peach Momoko X-Men 60th anniversary variant with Dark Phoenix.
All right, so next is Miss Marvel, the New Mutant #2. So the first one hasn't come out yet. Is
It's
it this
this
week?
week.
Yes,
Yep.
it's coming week. But yeah, so more adventures of Miss Marvel in her new role as a mutant on the X-Men. What's funny though is that this solicitation, and I checked two different sites. It says no info. Stay tuned for more info in July. And we're now at the end of August, so I don't really know what this is about. I guess
July.
yeah. So maybe we'll have a better idea once the first issue comes
Yeah.
out next week and we read that. But I don't really know. I don't know what's going on because there was no information anywhere. But we can at least show you the cool covers. So we have our A cover here. We have our Adrian Alfana variant, which looks very fun. Our Amy Reader homage variant. And then our Federico Vicentini team homage variant, obviously homaging X-Men #1 from 1963.
You just had to throw in. It's like, this is the year. This is.
I've read a comic
And then you
before.
recite the entire issue. So next up is issue #2 of Realm of X, which I also really liked. That came out this week. So Magic and a small group of other mutants found themselves waking up in Vanheim, And in this very Viking and fantasy world, Magic discovers she doesn't have her powers. She's also separated from Curse, the little girl mutant that has very strong powers, and maybe is not great that she's out by herself. But Magic is going to go looking for her. Um, but is Magic, by looking for Curse, falling into a trap of someone even more sinister? And there's been a prophecy of these like coming warriors in Vanheim
Yeah.
that they suddenly like realize, oh wait, that's us. So the time is ticking down to like what's going to happen with this prophecy. So just really fun. Um, Kind of separate from all the other X books story, even though it came out of that. But if you're a fan of Magic and some of these characters, definitely check this out because I really liked issue one. This is our A cover for that. And then we have a David Lopez variant with Typhoid Mary, who is another character that is with them there, standing on top of like an orc.
As one does.
Yeah.
So here we have the second issue of the Penguin. This is the new Penguin miniseries written by Tom King. The first issue I thought was really, really good. I kind of wasn't expecting it. I was thinking Penguin, really, but it was really, really good. And I'm excited for this one. So in that issue, in the first issue, he was taken captive by the federal government, and they said that you work for us now, and we want you to go back to Gotham and work your way back into your old life and do what you did before, only you're going to report back to us on everything now. Well, in this one, he's getting ready to do that. He's going to go back to Gotham, but he knows that he's going to need some ruthless soldiers to get back into his old life. And the first one he goes to is the character you see on the cover there, who is named The Help. And he's an assassin that Penguin met during the Batman Killing Time miniseries that came out several months ago, or maybe was it last year?
Maybe
Or
last year.
yeah, um, but can Penguin free the Help from a prison of his own making? So what does that mean? I'm not sure. I haven't read Killing Time yet, but it looks cool. I like this. I haven't seen a cover. It's been a long time since I've seen a cover where there's a word balloon
Yep.
on it.
Very
So
cool.
yeah, very cool. So excited for this one. The first issue was great. We have our David Marquez A cover right here, and then the Derek Robertson variant.
And next up, we have Return to the Titans. This is Titans issue 3. Very excited to be back with
Hmm.
Titans after the Night Terrors hiatus. And in this one, which the cliffhanger they left off where Garth Tempest
That's right.
Aqualad
I forgot about
is
that.
now working with Brother Eternity, who is the reformed Brother Blood. And in this, the Church of Blood, with the help of Brother Eternity and Garth, have been recruiting followers faster than ever because they've got a good, former Teen Titans spokesperson on there. But can the Titans save the world from Brother Blood and his brainwashing? Also, there may be some hints in this that are leading to Beast World, the
Oh, that's
new
right.
big crossover story, because it says there's a big cosmic threat
Oh,
looming also. So, very interesting one there. This is our A cover. And then we also
I like
have
that.
our Mike Deodato Jr. variant.
I like that. I like
Yeah.
Beast Boy back there, just looking
Yeah.
big.
Why would you not look like that
Yeah,
all the
looking
time?
swole. Yeah. All right, so next is the second issue of Superman: The Last Days of Lex Luthor. This is the three-issue miniseries that are in the more magazine size, written by Mark Waid and Brian Hitch on art. I should mention too. In this one, Superman is still looking for a cure to figure out whatever is killing Lex Luthor. That's the whole crux of this whole story. But he can't find a cure. He's looked everywhere in the first issue. He looked, I think he even looked in the Phantom Zone. He consulted Kryptonian scientists, that kind of thing. He can't find anything anywhere. So in this one, he goes to the future and asks the Legion of Superheroes for help. Will they have a solution or not? We don't know. You'll have to read to find out. But been a great run so far. This is our A cover here, and then we have a Chris Samney variant as well. Classic Superman just floating outside
Yeah.
Luthor's window.
Next up, we have Catwoman number 57. And I know this is in the twos and threes section, but it's because this is actually the Gotham War Part 3. So, like we said, it's going to be going between Batman and Catwoman and various, a couple little extra books here and there. But in this, it says as Batman becomes more isolated, Catwoman is never alone because people want to be on Catwoman's side. We'll have to see kind of what all comes of that. But it also says there is a shocking twist at the end. So I'm very excited about this. Sounds really cool. So we've got our A cover here. Then we have our Tirso Khan's variant. Looks like she's guilty of stealing a
She
whole
is
bunch of
stealing
stuff.
something, yeah.
We have the Joshua Sway variant. That's very cool. And we have the Joe Quesada connecting variant. So all the, I guess, numbered issues
Yeah.
of this story will have a Quesada connecting cover with flying cats.
All right, big game number 3. Issue number 2 came out this week, and it was crazy.
Brutal.
It was brutal. Yeah. Not everybody lived. We'll say that. So third issue. There were some deaths in issue number 2,
Yeah.
and now Nemesis has Kick-Ass, Hit Girl, and Huck in his sights. Although we do see the nightclub kids there on the cover too. I love nightclubs, so I hope they're okay. I hope they make it through this unscathed. Can the Kingsman spy organization stop Nemesis? So that should be a cool showdown. This has been great, like seeing all the Mark Miller projects all in one universe. It's just something I never even thought of that they exist in the same, but they do, and or they did.
I know when you said like when we did the show before, I was like, literally like whoever your favorite character is, not safe.
Not nobody is safe in this. Yeah. So this is just the next issue. This is a five issue miniseries. So if you're enjoying this, number 3 is on pre-order this weekend. Pepe Larraz is the artist on this A cover, and then we have the Travis Charest cover as well.
And next up, we've got cool covers. These are sure there's cool stories in them, but
Oh
we
yeah.
want to highlight the cool covers in this section, starting with Action Comics number 1057. And this does start a new storyline,
Mhm.
a new golden age of Metropolis. Sounds really cool. The heroes, the super family starts losing their powers because of something, and new metahumans emerge to take their place. So this is the Jimenez cover. And there's going to be a few of these. This is the Michael Janin Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong
Oh,
variant.
I'm so excited for that story.
Yeah.
That's gonna be so good. All right. Batman Superman World's Finest number 19. Fantastic book, but like we said, we wanted to highlight the cover, and this cover is fantastic. Featuring, I'm assuming that's Nick Cage,
Yep.
who was going to play Superman at one point a long time ago in a Superman movie. He is on the cover here dressed as his own superhero with an N on his
Yep.
chest instead of an S. Why does this cover exist? Do you need a reason? It's the same reason why the.
Man, but he's also got some Batman gauntlets
Oh,
on,
that's
which is
right.
very
And
cool.
he's is he flying?
Yep.
Like it looks like he's floating. So we had the Jerry Seinfeld cover with this series. We had the Paul McCartney Christmas cover, and now we've got a really cool Nicolas Cage, seemingly just because. So yeah, I'm excited for
And
this.
those other ones sold out very, very
They really
fast, and they
did.
became very hot covers.
Yeah.
So don't miss out on this one, considering this is the most like he was gonna play Superman thing. So
Yeah.
I think this one's gonna be very big. Everybody's gonna be wanting this one.
But not to mention, this is also the conclusion of the story that started last issue, sort of giving us a new telling of Superman and Batman's first meetup. So this concludes that story, and it says that there's also a lead-in to an upcoming event set in present day because World's Finest has not been present. It's been in the near or the not too distant past. But we're gonna get a present day story as well. But yeah, definitely pre-order this if you want it because, like Andy said, those other covers went really fast.
And next up, we got this really cool cover for Batman Brave and the Bold #5. And this is the Saren Stone variant with Amelia Harcourt on the cover, who you see on there, she's kind of coming through a very casket shaped
Yep.
thing
Yep.
because she had died, but she is back thanks to Amanda Waller. And this does say this issue will have a shocking tale that will have huge ramifications for the dawn of DC. So very interesting. And this is a cover artist I'm not familiar with, but I really like the pseudo anime style
Yeah, I
of
like
it.
it.
So I'm interested to see more from this artist.
All right, so Detective Comics number 1074. This is just continuing the story that's been going on for a while now, the Gotham Nocturne story written by Ron V. But we have a couple of really cool covers here. This is the Pablo Villalobos Hispanic Heritage month cover featuring Renee Montoya, and then there is the like we saw the Michael Janin Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. It connects with the what was
Yep.
the other one we just looked at?
That was for Action. No, yes,
Yeah,
Action
Action Comics.
Comics.
Yeah, so
Action and Detective.
put those together, and you're gonna have a really cool image.
And next up, we have Green Arrow, #4. Another book I'm very excited
Oh, I
is
can't
coming
wait.
back.
So
In this one, Parallax returns, which very horrifying there. Plus, Black Canary and Arsenal search for Ollie, and it leads them to a long lost Green Arrow family member who isn't too happy about being found. So, very excited for that. And this is the Kendrick Lim variant.
Harley Quinn #32. So this is the start of a new story arc, but kind of sort of is a very slight continuation of her Night Terrors 2-issue miniseries, or not the whole thing, but the what happened at the end of #2 is going to inform this new story arc here. So if you like Harley Quinn, if you enjoyed the Night Terrors, her Night Terrors miniseries, don't miss out on this because, like I said, it's a continuation. We have the Jenny Frison cover right here, and then also a Rose Besch creator cover as well.
That one's great.
Yep.
And next up, speaking of Rose Besch, this is Tales of the Titans #3. Of course, this one is spotlighting Donna Troy, and we have this really nice Rose Besch cover for this one.
Nightwing #106. This is the start of a new story arc. Nightwing goes nautical, which sounds really fun. Nightwing and Batgirl, they journey across the ocean in search of a secret society that dates back to when Bloodhaven was formed. Sounds awesome. We've actually seen some covers from future issues, which we'll talk about in future episodes. But the whole thing looks great. This is our A cover by Bruno Redondo, but we also have this really cool Dan Mora variant of Nightwing just hanging out on a fire escape.
Of his own.
Of his own, there's a neon sign of his own symbol. Yeah.
Okay, and this is the Villalobos variant for Hawkgirl #3. And this one, it's Hawkgirl versus the Court of Owls and their Talons. So, bird versus bird.
Yeah.
And this issue, this really nice Villalobos cover here.
Avengers #5. This is just continuing the story of the Avengers versus the Action Combine. I really enjoyed issue 4 where all that kind of started. There's some really cool covers though for this. There is the Alex Ross connecting variant here, and then there is the Mark Brooks corner box variant. And that is that's your new Avengers team from several years ago. I really like that.
And next up, we have Star Wars Dr. Aphra #36. This is just the A cover, which is so nice. But in this one, it's a Dark Droids tie-in, and it just says Aphra comes face to face with the one enemy she never expected to see. But really nice A cover here. Plus, we have this fantastic Ahsoka Clone Wars 15th anniversary variant. Very timely, since the first 2 episodes just dropped. We have the Casanovas Droids connecting variant. There's a little chopper on there. And wanted to mention this, we also have The Mandalorian Season 2, Issue 4. This also has like the first appearance of the Dark Troopers when they appeared in Mandalorian. This covers the episode The Siege, and this fantastic Daniel Warren Johnson variant cover.
He can do no wrong.
Yeah, especially drawing Star Wars.
Yeah.
Just go on his Instagram and check out all of his Star Wars drawings.
This is the Death of the Venomverse #5. What's funny about this is the solicitation reads Carnage wins. That's all it says. Because this is the miniseries where Carnage has been traversing the multiverse trying to kill anybody who is bonded with a symbiote. And if the solicitations are to be believed, Carnage wins. So I guess you don't have to read it now. No, you definitely want to read this to find out. But this is the really fun Saturday morning cartoon variant. There were some other books like this too, right?
Yeah, I think this one actually has one that butts up against it with the Eddie Brock in the background.
Yeah, and then there is the design variant as well, featuring the Venomized Jeff the Shark.
Very cute.
Very awesome.
And next up, this is, I was telling you about this cover.
I didn't see this. I can't believe I didn't see this.
This is so cool. So this is Ultimate Invasion #4. This is the final issue of this 4-issue miniseries that is supposed to kickstart a new Ultimate Universe. I feel like we're so on the edge of learning all about this, but we still don't know hardly anything about this, even what characters are going to be involved.
Still lots of questions.
But this is going to be an oversized final issue. It says the timelines collide and something new is born. guessing their new Ultimate Universe. And Iron Man must choose between the lesser of two evils, the Maker or Kang the Conqueror, which we haven't even seen Kang in this yet.
Not yet.
So there's a lot of story
Yeah.
yet to tell in this. I'm very excited. Plus, this is just an awesome suit for Iron Man. I love that.
I would love, yeah, like I would love if that was Ultimate Iron Man, like going forward, like oh his for some reason his armor looks like Kang. You got to read to find out why, but
Yeah.
that's awesome. Holy cow!
And this is the Francis Manipool variant.
Mm. This is Godzilla. Here There Be Dragons, #4. Continuing that storyline. In this one, Sir Francis Drake and his men, they find themselves surrounded by monsters, both human and kaiju, but they have yet to face the real dragon, which I'm assuming they're talking about Godzilla. Maybe, they don't know that he's not really a dragon, I guess. But I just wanted to highlight this very cool Tyler Kirkham variant.
And we've got some really nice Red Sonja covers. This is for Red Sonja #3, and they've just been knocking them out of the park with some of these. This is the Middleton A cover. We have a Frank Cho variant. Frank Cho draws dinosaurs like no other.
Yeah.
This is a super cool Berens variant.
I really like that one.
She just looks like this is going to be nothing for her to take on this giant troll ogre. And then a Perio variant, which usually Perio's covers are very dark. So this really stood out is that how light it is. It's really nice. And next up, we have other printings and graphic novels. So these are collected editions and reprints of some pretty big issues you might want to check out. Starting with
Flash #105. This is the first appearance of Mirror Master. So if we thought we saw him on a cover earlier, not really sure, but if you want to know more about him, then you can pick this up. It's gonna reprint every ad, every little thing in the book. Both stories too. There were 2 stories in this book, so everything that was in the original is gonna be in this.
And next up, we have the collected edition of Star Wars Scoundrels, Rebels, and the Empire. This collected those 40th anniversary one-shot issues. Collects all 6, Jabba's Palace, Ewoks, Lando, the Empire, the Rebellion, and Max Rebo, all together for $29.99. And those were kind of oversized issues, so that's why it's a little bit more.
This is the first trade paperback to the new run of Guardians of the Galaxy, collecting the first 5 issues of this new run. The origin of Groot, or what is Grootfall? Not really the origin, but we learn about this. I haven't read the full thing yet, so I don't know if we know yet what Grootfall is. But
I think we do. I think the next issue is supposed to explain.
That's right. But yeah, so kind of the first issue at least has like this very Wild West feel to it, which is very reflective of the cover here. So if you've been wanting to read that new run, this is a great way to do it. Oh, and this is going to be $17.99.
And next up, another
These are
installment
great.
of our Joker 1 Operation Joker Volume 2, the manga. And this one sounds fantastic because Joker, as a single parent of a baby Bruce Wayne, continues, and Joker needs help from Harley at a parent-teacher conference. I guess to pose as like the couple or whatever. And Alfred can't help but think that that baby looks a lot like a little Bruce Wayne because he would know.
Yeah, he would.
He would know. So I can't wait for the first volume of this to come out. I think it comes out pretty soon. And God, just what a crazy fun idea.
And then along those lines, Superman versus Meshi. This is the second volume of this. The first one was really fun, and this one sounds also very fun. Superman loves trying new food in Japan. He also loves sharing his love of that food with his buddies in the Justice League. He might even throw one of them on his back and fly him off to Japan and tell him, "You got to try this, man." But in this one, he needs to try to overcome his greatest fear, which is asking out Lois Lane on a lunch date.
Ooh.
Yeah, this one is going to be $9.99. The first one was great, and yeah, don't miss this one.
And that is it for Comics from the Future. Like we said, this is a big week. It contained 2 weeks of DC books in there, so that's why it was a little DC heavy. But thank you so much for watching. Head over to infinityflux.net where you can pre-order these books right now. Have them waiting for you, get them sent to you, or if you shop locally, you can come by and pick them up when they release. And if you don't have an account with us, you can make one super easy, takes 2 seconds, and become one of our loving family members. So again, thank you for watching, and until next time,
See ya.
bye.